So, I just finished Invincible, and
What the heck?
this is going to be an overreact quickie! Because this isn't a show I care too much about, honestly. The first season is very polarizing to me. I went in not knowing anything about the comics besides from the memes and that Robert Kirkman was the creator. I love The Walking Dead, and I love his Marvel zombies. So, I decided to give this show a shot. And boy oh boy, I can see why people really like this show. The voice acting is spot on, the fight scenes are spectacular, the characters are utilized correctly, there's some good twists and turns in the show, and the animation for half of the part is good. Too bad I'm actually talking about the second half of the season. The first 4 episodes are god fucking boring, janky, and something that looks like out of a 2000 show anime. I hate the Mars episode, I hate the Hellboy Detective Chimp Constantine coat wearing demon ripoff episode, I hate the Mount Rushmore episode, even though Dr. Seismo is by far the best SJW to ever be screened. I hate the interdimensional time-resisting aliens episode, and I hate that every time we say that happens, it's fucking annoying and it cuts the flow of a scene. It's only used correctly once, and I'm not going to put too much work into finding it because I fucking hate it that much. The only good things about the first 4 episodes are that it sets up the characters, universe, Mark's struggle with superhero PTSD, and uses what I call the Rocketeer writing method, where you introduce your main components in the first third, and it helps in the final climax. I don't think anyone's voice acting, animation, or episodes are great in the first 4 episodes. Some parts sound like they're barely doing a first table read, and other parts where lines are delivered weird. The stupid ass CGI people and backgrounds are terrible to look at, especially when these 2 factors are the main focuses sometimes. Okay, let's get into something I do like, because this quickie is turning out to be a full-on session, and I'm getting tired of fucking wasting your time, folks. Unlike the time Robot and Monster Girl have together to I'd rather not think about that, actually. Because I want to focus on what Cosmonaut said about this subplot. He says he liked interpersonal parts, yet he goes on to say he wasn't invested in this plot. But the subplot shows the most important payoff of the entire season, maybe the series. What Monster Girl says to Robot is the whole cake of this show. It's not the powers, not the costume, not the basic origin story, nor the adventures and tales you have to tell your family over dinner. It's what we have in here that determines how heroic we really are. Cosmonaut also said he doesn't like Mark's and Amber's relationship because she gets mad at him for saving people and doesn't know why she'll be mad. Bro, if you paid attention to the show, you'll hear,
Why are we fighting?
We're fighting because you lied to me. You made me feel stupid and unimportant.
when you're the partner of a superhero, their life becomes yours as well. There's a whole reason why Spider-Man doesn't show his face on the news, because then someone will try to assassinate Aunt May. So knowing what your loved one is doing behind the scenes is important to significant others. I really love the first 15 minutes of the show because it perfectly sums up who the real characters of the show are. The people. Yes, the Graysons and Teen Team are the main characters, but they stand out more when they aren't hiding behind the masks. Like I said, it's not the costume or the powers. It's what's in here that matters. What's also in us is a bunch of blood. The blood effect is great, and the gore reminds me of Dead Space level of animation with guts and flesh all over the place. I love it. The best episode of the season so far is episode 5. That actually hurt. Homeboy gets fucking played. Go watch it yourself. The episode is by far the greatest episode. It's baller. And with that concludes my quickie. Sorry I took too long. It never usually happens, but time for pillow talk. Last minute things I don't like are how the characters' powers aren't really explained or their abilities flip-flop. Rexplosion is what? A dude with explosive throwables? Okay, How can he take a hit from Monster Girl and survive a fall that tall then? Also, Omni-Man can stand still and take a punch, where water from the Fishman is giving him a pushback? Like, what? Adam Eve can bend atoms to her will and grow trees out the ground, yet in combat chooses these stupid ass shields and atom ray blasts. Like, dude, you could have saved so many lives by turning these alien tanks into lava or wood or shooting up concrete trees up them. It's like they know their characters are limitless, yet find poor excuses to limit them. Omni-Man may be the strongest, but he isn't the brightest. Like, bro, what kind of fucking alibi is? I got the call from Guardian Globes. I came over. It go dark. Everyone die. I wake up in hospital. Like, bro, that's some Lex Luthor logic right there. if you're gonna complain about Lex Luthor's logic, you gotta complain about this logic. This alibi made no sense, dude. Like, oh my god, the basic foundation that sets off this entire show makes no sense. I know the comics are also a comedical, cynical satire of the superhero world, but can we please be more original when making fun of superheroes? For a show that captured the world by storm, it sure isn't. It has great things in it, don't get me wrong, but on a technical level, it needs work. And I felt personally the structure of the show should have been way better. I would have loved the first episode to be an introduction to the world and the characters, especially the Guardians of the Globe, because when they die, I don't give a shit. They're just meat sacks getting pulverized. The climactic part of the final fight is Omni-Man remembering Mark's baseball game, and then he stops beating the living shit out of his own son. I felt like this would have been more impactful if throughout the season we saw flashbacks of Omni-Man and Mark bonding. Also, is it my fault that I want a little bit of mystery? We know Omni-Man's a bad guy at the end of the first episode, but this defeats all of the bonding we see between Mark and his dad during the rest of the season. It would have been more fun for the audience to see the Guardians die the way Nolan describes it. Him in the hospital as Mark took on the family duties, Nolan waking up and saving Earth from evil, and having Immortal coming back to life and the world seeing Nolan kill him again. Then the Guardian's destiny plays out when he explains everything that's going on to his son. That would have been perfect because then the illusion of the perfect father and the perfect hero is shattered. That's just my thoughts and feedback though. I'm not shitting on the show. I like it. It's just I see perfection under this show and it needs to iron out these flaws if it truly wants to be.